Evelyn's world had shifted in ways she could not have imagined. The power that had awakened within her was no longer something she could simply control. It consumed her thoughts, invaded her every waking moment, and seeped into her dreams. Every night, the voice in her head grew louder, its whispers now more like a command. It was no longer just a reminder of her strength. It was a demand to use that power, to embrace it fully. Days turned into weeks, and Evelyn found herself distancing from everything she had once loved. The house, which had once felt like a home filled with warmth and laughter, now felt like a prison, its walls pressing in on her, suffocating her. Every shadow, every corner, seemed to pulse with an unsettling energy. But the worst part was the transformation she was undergoing. Her skin, once smooth and youthful, now seemed to have a cold, almost metallic sheen to it, as though her very essence was changing. Her eyes, once brown and full of warmth, glowed an unsettling shade of gold that made people turn away when they looked at her. Samuel, her dear boy, had become a constant reminder of her new reality. He had sensed the change in her, felt the growing darkness that surrounded her like a storm cloud. She could see it in his eyes, the fear, the confusion. He had begun to question her, ask her what had happened, but Evelyn could never bring herself to tell him the truth. Not yet. He was still too young to understand. But as the days passed, her fear for him grew. Despite the power she had gained, there was a gnawing worry deep within her that someone, something, would come for him. The darkness that she had unleashed within herself had made her feel invincible, but it had also made her paranoid. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind set her on edge. She began to see enemies where there were none, figures in the distance, faces in the crowd, shadows that moved just outside her vision. One night, as Evelyn lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the voice came again, louder than ever. "You are ready, Evelyn. The time has come." Her heart pounded in her chest, and her breath hitched. What was it asking of her now? She had done everything the voice had told her. She had embraced the darkness, accepted the demon within her. She had protected Samuel from the creature in his room, but now, it felt like something bigger was on the horizon. A sudden noise downstairs jerked her from her thoughts. It was a faint sound, like something or someone was moving through the house. Her eyes glowed brighter, and her body stiffened with anticipation. Samuel was in his room, asleep, or so she thought. She crept out of bed, her footsteps silent as she moved down the hall. The house seemed unnaturally still, the silence broken only by the sound of her own heartbeat. Reaching the living room, she froze. The shadows seemed deeper than usual, curling like tendrils of smoke, and in the center of the room stood a figure, tall, cloaked in darkness, with eyes that gleamed a blood-red hue. For a moment, she felt the familiar surge of power rise within her, but this time it was different. The power was wild, uncontrolled. She could feel the demon within her thrashing, demanding to be unleashed. "Who are you?" Evelyn's voice was low, filled with a strange mix of fear and determination. The figure did not respond, only stepped forward, its form shifting like smoke in the dim light. "Leave my son alone," Evelyn hissed, her hands trembling with the force of the power building inside her. The figure laughter sounded like dry leaves rustling in the wind. "It's not him I'm here for, Evelyn," the figure said in a voice that was both familiar and alien. "It's you." In a flash, the figure lunged at her, but Evelyn was faster. Her hands raised, and with a sudden burst of energy, the darkness in the room recoiled, hissing in pain. The figure staggered back, its form flickering like a dying flame. "What are you?" Evelyn demanded, her voice cracking with a newfound fury. "What do you want from me?" The figure paused, its red eyes glowing brighter. I am a part of you, Evelyn. I have always been here. You awakened me when you recited the words. The power you wield is mine as much as it is yours. You've been fooling yourself, thinking you could control it, but you cannot. You belong to it now. Evelyn's blood ran cold as the truth of the figure's words hit her. She had become the very thing she had feared. The demon inside her was not just a protector, it was a force, an ancient power that had been dormant for centuries, and now it was fully awake. No, Evelyn whispered, her voice trembling. I won't let it control me. The figure smirked. You don't have a choice, Evelyn. The power is yours, but it's also your curse. You will never be free of it, not unless you make the ultimate sacrifice. The words echoed in her mind as she tried to make sense of what was happening. What sacrifice? Her eyes flickered toward the door of Samuel's room, where her son lay, still unaware of the battle raging in the next room. You would protect him with all your strength, the figure continued, its voice a whisper in the dark. But to protect him, you must surrender yourself completely. You must offer him to the darkness as a willing sacrifice to fully awaken the demon inside you. Evelyn's heart skipped a beat. The thought of giving up Samuel, her only reason for living, was unthinkable. Yet the voice in her head, now more insistent than ever, urged her to follow through. You must do this. Only then will you be truly powerful. Only then will you be able to protect him forever. No, she gasped, shaking her head as if trying to rid herself of the terrible thoughts. I will never do that. I will protect him, no matter the cost. The figure laughed again, a cruel, mocking sound. Very well, Evelyn. But no, this power has a price. The longer you resist, the greater the darkness will grow, and one day it will take what you cherish most. With those words, the figure disappeared into the shadows, leaving Evelyn alone in the dark, trembling with fear and fury. She stood in silence, feeling the weight of its words settle deep within her heart. Her thoughts swirled at what was she becoming, and more importantly, what price would she pay for the power she had awakened? In that moment, she knew there was no turning back. The demon within her had fully risen. But the question remained, could she control it, or would it consume her and everything she loved? As the house grew quiet once more, Evelyn slowly made her way to Samuel's room. She stood in the doorway, watching her son sleep peacefully, unaware of the darkness that had now taken root within her. She would protect him, no matter what, but at what cost?